That's a pretty good 9-kill bot laner, but going to take it away from Cody as Immortals. Going to give us the trademark red side Zachman.
The real question is anyone ever going to beat Double's 1000th kill?
No.
Like, that was so hype with the turret dive and stuff. The teams have to get creative here. They have to plan out this 1000th kill.
I just have a funny feeling that I've casted both 1000-kill moments from both those bot laners.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be blessed with sneaky 1000 kills here, or he'll betray me and only get a couple kills this game. LeBlanc banned out by Cloud9 though, so clearly respecting the power of that champion. And there's Galio banned by Immortals. So I'm sensing some trends here on the red side, but Cloud9 with a bit more flexibility, going to ban away Shen as their last one.
And you can certainly expect Kennen to go over to C9 if that's not going to be banned away. That has been such a popular top lane pick, unless someone is going to be comfortable to play into that, has some sort of a matchup they want to bring out, like the Pantheon that we had seen, but Kennen will get taken away. Definitely a lot more flexibility here with the jungle pools, though. Only the one jungle ban as opposed to the 3 or 4 we saw in the first rotation last time.
Yep, we'll see what Cloud9 wants to do. Impact being like, Sneaky, you want this? You can get 9 kills on this champion. I don't think you want Draven, though.
You can definitely get 9 kills on Draven, but you can also give 9 kills on Draven, and, you know, it's kind of the dichotomy there.
Yeah, Pendulum can swing pretty heavily there with Draven, but it looks like first pick Xayah actually for Cloud9. That is some intense priority.
It could be, you know, we have the ability to see that, but we're not sure if Immortals is going to want to take it away. Probably not going to be the case, as the Xayah Rakan synergy is so strong. We haven't really seen Rakan just as the solo support very often. Certainly
not successfully, even the few times we have seen it. So Gragas will be the pick there for Immortals. Maybe Cloud9 thinking that with all this Gragas priority, they're likely to get Contractz as next pick. And we usually see Xayah Rakan on red side because that's the only opportunity you have to pick 2 champions, but Cloud9 just kind of forcing the issue here in this draft and confident in their other matchup. This Cody going to bring out Tristana, so trying something a little different in this matchup.
Pretty cool. Tristana is actually a champion that I've been feeling has been gaining some power for quite some time, but has yet to kind of break back into the scene. Last time we really see Tristana was the Rage Blade stuff with Xayah, and some people kind of popularizing that. But Tristana does have immense sieging power, strong team fighter, still has very strong late game scaling. So it certainly is a pretty powerful pick here.
There's Contractz Elise once more. So again, making that same trade. Immortals very aware that this was the likely pick for C9, so happy to give it back over. And if Cloud9 want Rakan, they are going to have to take it here most likely. So we'll see if they do want to put the duo together.
Yeah, and if they're comfortable playing other picks along with Azael, as they've already shown Blitz, you know, Thresh certainly works. I just think that, like, playmaking CC type support plus Xayah, anyone can set up the easy routes and stuff for her is going to be pretty powerful. So this certainly can accomplish a similar thing. And if you're worried about Olleh taking the Thresh, then targeting this pick may make more sense, as Olleh, I think, actually did have a very strong game on the Thresh first time around here too. But this is what I also talked about in Pick Fan last time. You know, had it been Smoothie picking the Thresh, I would be expecting the Morgana, because this is one of Olleh's specials. It is not a popular support in the meta, but it's something that he is very confident on, very strong on. And not only is it a very good answer to the Thresh hook, but it's a very good answer to Contractz on this Elise and blocking out that Cocoon. So I think it makes some sense. We'll see how this bot lane can pair up, because the pool, like the W from Morgana, in combination with the explosive shot from Tristana, gives you incredible pushing power here too. You can simply drop a W on the wave, you start knocking them down, they blow up and explode on the other minions, and you can really outshove your opponents.
Yeah, kind of fun to see Tristana back, so we'll see how this first foray into the summer for her does fare. Again, next to Olleh's Morgana, Cassio and Syndra both banned those, so looks like mid lane is going to hit the bench next, as both teams early targeting some of those matchups.
Definitely a lot of options as far as mid lane goes. And we still don't know for sure if this is top lane or jungle Gragas. Certainly assuming it is jungle, as it has been going that way for Xmithie. But they do have the ability to flex, especially if they're going to leave, you know, top lane for counter pick. Likely we will see something like perhaps just a Renekton coming out again. That's what I'm expecting for Flame, something that is a pretty safe kind of just default pick. And then save that counter pick for Pobelter, because it should be very important against Jensen. But it's really just going to show where do they put more priority, top or mid here, because they have to choose right now.
Part of me feels like top lane, because whenever I see a Syndra ban, I always expect people to be picking a mid laner out, something like Talia or Orianna, if they have a preference. If they don't, Pobelter can wait and counter pick whichever matchup he kind of wants to take here. So we'll learn a lot about Immortals comp, but there's the Orianna.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I think when you are kind of organizing yourself to have this composition built around Tristana a bit, as someone who can help protect it, the Orianna makes some sense. You have Black Shield now, you have a frontliner with the Gragas, now you have Orianna shields and speed ups for that Tristana here too. So you're definitely building out a very powerful team fighting 5v5 type composition.
It's also one of Jensen's most played champions this season, as Rumble locked in there for Impact, I assume, in the top lane. Smoothie gonna flash the Lucian. See if Jensen wants to take one of the more fun matchups in mid lane.
Yeah, this is one of the matchups that is also considered pretty advantageous, so Jensen's going to go with it. It's something that you want to play super aggressive in Lucian. You have to have confidence on this champion if you're going to play a mid, because you do not play passively. That's not how you win on this champion. You need to dash in, you need to be super aggressive, bully out your laner, utilize your lifesteal to really shove them out and build edges for himself.
Well, it looks like last pick from Immortals will of course go over to Flame. There's the Jarvan locked in. Gonna take that versus the Rumble of Impact. And again, these last picks make sense for Cloud9, diversifying the damage profile, making sure they've got it all set up, but a lot of damage, some pick, and that's about it for C9. If they are very squishy if a big team fight starts, Immortals can certainly frontline and look to team fight much better than C9 can in the late game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is, once again, a very scrappy composition, but we saw how well C9 was able to utilize their advantages, play around that mid and jungle synergy, and really push the pace of the game once they had already gotten ahead. This is a composition they can look to do similar things with here again. That said, there are certainly ways in for Immortals if you play a more passive game. If you end up in late game 5v5s, they're massively favored, in my opinion. And even looking at something like the Rumble J4 matchup, that can be snowballed very heavily too. If you fall behind as J4, you can get all in time and time again.
I think so as well, but Xmithie spent a lot of time sort of consistently playing back and forth in the mid lane, and Pobelter will be once again in a more defensive matchup. So we'll have to see where Xmithie wants to put his time. He's probably leaving his bottom lane alone. They've been very self-sufficient all season long already, but Xmithie's going to have to kind of make some tough choices, and Cloud9 again should have initiative, looking to initiate the early game.
There's honestly a lot of options, I think, here for Xmithie, and that is kind of what makes one of these really exciting lanes and games in general. It's hard to predict where does he want to go, because Lucian is going to play very aggressive to bully this lane. That can put him in a place where he could get ganked. Rumble does as well. Rumble shoves in very heavily, and J4 has great gank assist. Morgana also has the binding, strong gank assist, and there's a lot of opportunities here for him to go around the map and then kind of pick and choose his battles, because we saw how that mid lane jungle 2v2 went last time, and that was really what kind of started that snowball for C9. So Immortals need to get vision around mid lane, but not necessarily try to fight.
Yep, we'll see exactly what happens in the early game once more as we move out onto Summoner's Rift for the second time today between these two teams. Cloud9 looking for a sweep and to move themselves back up into that top half of the standings, back towards top 2, top 4, kind of where they belong. At least as far as they're concerned. Immortals, though, looking kind of prove that wrong and continue a impressive run of early season dominance.
Yeah, and they have been so strong in these early stages, and it's really a big question, because we talked about it at the start of the day. Can they match up against C9? Was it a fluke against TSM? Did they just kind of beat this top team because they were having a slow start? If you beat C9, if you beat TSM, and you're 5-1 after week 3, you are legitimately a top team, period. So that is what they are trying to prove here. But they kind of got slapped down in game 1, and they are looking to bounce back in game 2, show a strong performance, show that they are not only resilient and can play on this level, but that they have kind of the mental strength and fortitude to come back after a very tough loss.
Yeah, and I think in this game especially, Immortals are going to look to kind of drag it on a little later. So if they can kind of bear the early aggression that we are expecting from Cloud9, that will impress me a lot. As Jensen going to move up early on the wave. Looks like Pobelter is going to help Xmithie. Actually, Jensen's going to duck back towards the Raptors as well. So both junglers getting some early help here.
Yep, unfortunately Lucian does not give the best of Elise there. You can kind of queue over the wall, maybe an auto or two on a mini Raptor, but I certainly expect Smoothie to be able to clear that out faster with both his AoE and the help of his jungler.
Sold it pretty comfortably last game, so even easier with some assistance as Smoothie sneaky lining up against Cody and Olleh once more. And this Tristana pick, again, it's been such a long time as the binding is going to miss out onto Smoothie. Play lands in, Smoothie getting aggressive at level 1, but with Thunderlord's proc there from Olleh is going to kind of win the early trade.
Yeah, and when you see the the explosive shot is committed to Smoothie and he can't actually follow up and get more damage, and the binding is missed. Anytime Morgana misses a binding, you can go so aggressive onto that lane and really fight into them, and that's what C9 is looking to do. And that's one of the reasons that people don't often play the Morgana, is because it can be so tough. You have these massive windows of weakness. If you miss that skill shot, you can't really fight back.
Well, level 2 hit at about the same time for everyone here in the 2v2, so nothing crazy right now. But I'm not going for anything crazy just yet.
Super clever deep ward from Impact, actually over on those golems topside. Normally Xmithie would not be up there, but if he did an atypical path, if he went up, he would know that he's going to be very susceptible to being ganked. So I think this is a pretty smart little move, and that gives him the confidence to actually push super aggressively.
We'll see if they can cover mid lane, because Jensen is as expected and as he should be really in the matchup, playing up and aggressive, but every lane he's pushing right now for C9. So again, a great hook by Smoothie. Great shield though from Olleh, might turn it back around.
Oh, here's Xmithie.
Did choose for bottom lane. Smoothie for flash out. Does get exhausted, but sneaky, trying to kite it all out. They just want Smoothie to be safe, but I don't think he can get out of this one. Plays back on the Cody, but first blood's going over. There's Tristana, gonna grab it.
And it's right onto Tristana. Very nicely done here from Immortals. Xmithie, we talked about all the options he has as far as these lanes, the gank. And he makes it pay off big time in the bot lane, and the kill goes exactly where you would want it, onto Cody Sun.
And that was going to be my exact point. When all three lanes are pushing, your jungler has to make the right decision when that is happening. Xmithie rewarded with a kill, and it's on to pretty much the perfect member of his team also. Jensen, though, still aggressive in onto Pobelter. Huge amount of trade damage coming out.
Yeah, that's really nice from Jensen there. He has to play the matchup like this, which does expose you to
Whoa!
Flash forward, they're going for this.
Insta-flash, Contractz looking again, predicts the flash, but Flame just stalwart holds onto it.
Flame, really nice play there from him. He waited to see where that cocoon was going, and I'm going to give him the credit on this one, not say he kind of got lucky there, because that is something that's very difficult to do. Most pros, as soon as you see the animation, will reactively flash. As we saw Olleh last game, catching impact on his hook. This is what happens when the player can actually see the projectile, plays it slow, waits it out. But now they're trying to evade on Xmithie, who is down in experience and does have a smite. Will have to get out.
Yeah, Contractz still has double buffs as Xmithie takes the big one and bails out from the camp. Contractz going to clean that up. But Flash is down in top lane for both of them, but Contractz without his going to be a little trickier to try and land that gank. Xmithie still able to make a play with his summoner spell.
And again, Contractz just following around Smoothie, trying to bully him out here. Pobelter should be able to make the roam faster, but will it be in time?
Oh, Contractz actually really trying to go for it all, but Xmithie holds on to his flash. Contractz kind of used all his burst and didn't get the kill. Courage helping out there for Xmithie.
And very importantly for Xmithie, he actually picked up most of that camp because you do not want to see him falling too far behind. He needs to stay relevant, and he still has his flash available, so Rumble could be a very easy return gank, especially at 6. If you go up there with a level 6 J4 and a flashless Rumble, if Elise is not there to counter gank, you have no chance.
Cody back in again, and now Xmithie into the bottom lane. Smoothie with no flash is going to be the target. He'll use that with a flash body slam. Get it at Cody, another kill. Auto goes in, and there it is.
And Sneaky cannot clean up Xmithie there. Really well done here. Olleh just flashes forward point blank onto Smoothie, makes sure he lands the binding, and they take the easier kill, the smart one to go for, as they know that Sneaky has his flash. There is still that outplay ability.
Well, in fact, though, getting aggressive onto Flame. And important to note, Cody is down a pretty decent amount of CS in the 2v2, so up in gold thanks to those 2 kills, but maybe not as nice of a lead as it could have been, although things will certainly get better now that Cody's been gifted so much early gold.
Yeah, and part of it is obviously that they are kind of just shoving it out as a team and stuff after the ganks have happened. But you are going to see how much damage Tristana can actually get down on these turrets if you can get going. If you can constantly get the push, get up to the turrets, with that explosive shot, you really can shred through turrets because you have an attack speed steroid on your Q, you have this turret killing ability on your E. Those in combination, when you get some attack speed and AD behind it, are pretty incredible.
Yeah, we haven't seen Tristana in quite a while, so she is certainly a demolitionist. See if Cody can abuse that lead at any point. But all right, now things kind of returning back to normal. CS numbers looking good across the board, and I think again we'll pay attention to these junglers who don't have flashes right now. Seeing exactly if they can kind of snowball that lead, because we are expecting Cloud9 to continue on the front foot here and apply a lot more pressure.
Yeah, and for Jensen, now that he has this early Vamp Scepter, his aggressive trading becomes even better because Pobelter doesn't have really any sustain besides these potions. So if you can dash in, get a good trade, even if it's relatively even, you then get to heal up off the minions and you continuously can try to look to push this. And with the Ignite, especially on the Lucian, if you ever get very low, there's a lot of all-in potential here. So Jensen definitely looking to extend his lead and really try to get some work done on Pobelter, because if you end up kind of stabilizing and going even in this matchup, it's not going to be great.
Yep, invading right now with Contractz actually, who's taking away that control ward. Red buff pulled away by Xmithie, who's only level 5.
Smite.
Trying to save it down. Smite fight's going to start. Contractz does secure it.
Yeah, Smithie went for the early smite there, predicting that Contractz would try to smite first, but he loses it. And this is the edge that they are getting. They're playing around that mid-jungle synergy so well. They have these pushing aggressive lanes, and they're trying to get a lot done with it. And also, take a moment to appreciate the vision here. But J4 TPing behind the bot lane.
Oh, Cody Sun leaps back in again. Lantern there for Sneaky, who does take it, but a great ult from Sneaky gets him out from under Flame. Smoothie not going to be so lucky. Cody looking for the triple. There it is.
They just keep feeding the kills into Cody Sun. Immortals is setting up these plays around their bot lane so incredibly well. Very good stuff, but they are going to give up a lot of top lane turret damage because that is a pushing lane. When you TP away from a pushing lane, you are already losing the turret. You are already losing that damage, and they're going to give up first turret for this. So the question remains to be seen, was that really worthwhile? Putting Flame quite behind in this lane, giving up that global gold? Can Cody Sun make it pay off? Because they're putting all their eggs in his basket. He has to dominate this game. Otherwise, their plays were not worth it.
100% of the kills in this game are over to Cody, and Cloud9 continue to impress me with their decision-making in the early and mid-game. Trying to trade turrets here, though, are Immortals, but top turret's already gone, and that first gold goes over to C9, and Cody hasn't got his back in yet. 2,000 gold or more sitting in his pockets, but Sneaky returns in time to protect the turret. So at least for now, Immortals will expect to get the gold at some point soon, but they do not have it yet. Yeah,
they don't have it yet, and they have Impact, who's going to be ahead top lane. They have Jensen, who's ahead in that bot lane, and again, just go super aggressive. Jump right in. You have the J4 already TPing in. They just continue to attack this. Smoothie, what happened with that flash? It looked like maybe flash. Did he flash into the J4 wall or something? I'm not quite sure what happened there. Couldn't quite see as that summoner did get used. It looked like it went on cooldown briefly, but no, it's up now, so I'm kind of confused as to what happened. Maybe just the graphical error
maybe
on the replay.
I think perhaps didn't have it at that point. We can double check in a second, but regardless, he died and Cody got the kill, so Immortals happy with the situation despite the turret going down. Pobelter threatening onto Jensen, but the ball gets pulled back and Pobelter eats most of the culling.
Yeah, he eats a lot of damage there, and because the Ignite is still available for Jensen, he can look to threaten those all-ins, but Cody Sun and Olleh, as Olleh hits level 6, even more all-in potential. That is certainly very scary time against Morgana, because you can even just flash point blank on their face with your Black Shield and ultimate, and even if they reactively flash, you stay in range for the tether, and that gives you a free binding. So the all-in potential is super high, because Cody Sun is ahead, and you have this super easy setup. Plus, Xmithie has his flash, he's level 6. Like, this is one of the most free dives you could try to set up. But C9 certainly do have the abilities to outplay. They have the Featherstorm. They have Smoothie who could sit back with the Lantern. We'll see if Immortals want to make this work.
Well, Xmithie just going to walk into the lane. Looks like the turret's going to be the first thing on their mind. Binding goes wide, though, and Cody Sun a little too much.
Yeah, that was... I don't know if that's how you want to do it.
That was greedy.
Yeah, they just thought they could just burst it down, which is fine. And they just their thought process is have Xmithie here in case Contractz comes. We'll win a 3v3 if they try to take it. If they don't, let's just force down that turret. But now Contractz is down there. We'll see if Xmithie hangs around or if this bot lane is going to get caught and punished. Xmithie pathing up towards the top side. They do see Contractz now, though.
Being patient, but it might not be enough. Black Shield about to run out of the TP comes in from C9. Flash by Cody. Going to get him out from under Elise, but Contractz flashes on top of him as Buttershot is burnt. Impact with a nice ult. It's going to slow and burn down Cody. Contractz still tanking, but not enough to dive.
Really well played from the Immortals bot lane there. 4 members come bot, but a very well-timed exhaust, a great time on the Buster Shot, and a flash on the Cocoon. They use all their abilities, but they use them very well. They survive this play. That gives Flame a lot of time on the top side to kind of regain that CS, to equalize that lane. So now C9 has to try to force the Dragon to get something from this play.
Yep, the numbers advantage sits on the bottom side, so they'll look for the Drake. Olleh trying to poke them out. Binding going to miss, though. Not a whole lot of vision here for IMT, so he's going to have to give it up.
Yeah, and that's okay, I mean, for them, because they did get the TP, they did get quite a bit back there. And you can see Flame is actually up in CS now when he was quite a bit back behind. So their TP was more effective. And they are looking to try to still push up here and take down this turret. This is a completed Infinity Edge to just a BF sword, essentially, for Sneaky. So Cody Sun is very, very strong, and they will be able to finally cash in on the turret. I think from the game plan so far, Olleh shouldn't even share gold. Like, you're putting everything in on Cody Sun. Give over the solo gold tier 2. There's no reason to actually share this. So, yeah, they're going to have him back off.
Nice. Cody able to get, again, continued gold here in this game. Checking his leader real quick over Sneaky. 1,000 gold plus on the total gold advantage. So you can see Immortals, they're actually even in gold. But Cody is very far ahead of his lane opponent.
Yeah, he really is. And it's, you know, it's tough, I think, to make this Lucian work when you're not kind of smashing the game. Like, I think it's harder for a mid lane Lucian to have effect in an even game than it is for an Orianna. The Orianna, I think, you know, can play more safely, can play more passively, whereas the Lucian really is forced to kind of go aggressive to make his moves. So as far as team comps, as far as it being an even gold, that is great, but I do like the ease of composition here for Immortals. I think it's a straightforward game for them. Where C9 is really going to have some outplays, some good picks, some nice stuff happening for them if they want to have a chance.
Well, see if they can keep knocking down turrets, perhaps, or exactly where IMT want to go with the dual lane now that Cody's picked up that first major. Adam has already taken the turret. Right now, he's answering the pressure as Smoothie and Sneaky do push the lane back towards that bottom lane outer turret. Some more vision being cleared up, but not obvious avenues of attack, I will say, although Impact did just control the Rift Herald, so maybe looking to take that next objective.
Yeah, and that would certainly be an area where they would be pretty strong, you know, try to force a little skirmish around there, try to force Pobelter into an area where he can't just kind of sit back and wave clear, because he's playing this very defensively, and Jensen wants to kind of assert his dominance, you know, sitting on the Blade of the Rune King. He is very strong. He's never had a chance to use his Ignite yet, especially when you hit level 11. The power in that early rank 2 ultimate is pretty incredible for Lucian. I think that's one of the strengths of this mid lane Lucian. When you have that first item completion to hit rank 2 ultimate, he would love to try to make some sort of fight happen.
Yeah, fight starting in the middle lane. Potentially Immortals roam 3 people now. 4 actually, as Cody's going to join up towards that lane. Contractz is soloing the Rift Herald out, so if C9 don't lose anything here, this will be a positive.
Oh, they're actually looking for the C9 bot lane, but C9 is aware of this. They're on the run. Should be okay.
Good game sense there. IMT not going to line up a dive, so Sneaky and Smoothie get away. Rift Herald goes over to Contractz and might be able to break open the turret parity. Contract's going to take the Scudder Crab on the way out.
Yeah, some good stuff happening there for C9. I think it's you can't just straight up drop the Rift Herald against this Immortals team and hope to get a turret. They're going to have to look to try to get a pick or to you know, have a turret trade type situation and then use that to get the advantage. We'll see if they can actually find that correct situation to use it.
Contractz trying a pick maybe in the mid lane, but not going to grab it just yet. Here looks like we're actually moving some people around. Smoothie, never mind, is just roaming around that mid lane. Impact is hard pushing the top lane, so Flame's going to try and punch him for it. Xmithie, body slam flash ready, does land the first part. There's the barrel back in, and Impact now fighting Flame and Olleh, who's going to rotate up also. Binding is going to miss, but Impact now going to get jumped on after burning the flash. Flame holds on to the cooldown as Contractz looks down for Olleh, but yeah, it's just not enough, and Contractz might even turn it back around a little too much there for Contractz. Olleh does get the ulti down, but almost going right for C9.
Yeah, almost there.
Oh, Jensen, you're crazy! Flashes in, takes down Xmithie. And there's the aggression we're looking for. Pobelter, though, going to get the trade back in on
Cody Sun is here. He's very strong. He's going forward.
Shockwave hits one. It's Smoothie who does get the courage shield, but there's a rampage for Cody as he blows up the support.
Yeah, and C9 really wanted to try to make something happen with Jensen, who was very strong, but the play was already going too much in the favor of Immortals. They rotated their members up there quickly, but Sneaky is getting some turret damage down mid. Won't be able to take it, but at least is going to get some chip.
Well, Cody Sun back in, and he's out for blood at this point. Yep, leaps forward, looks for Sneaky. Sneaky does have the Feather Storm, so burns the heal and runs away. Binding will be short by Olleh as a result. And now Cody can maybe siege. I mean, Cena have to probably answer quickly if Cody does want to keep pushing down.
And this actually was a pretty tanky Impact. They took a long time to take him down. You know, partly because of, I think, some missed kind of skills here. You know, Flame was trying to hold his EQ for a really long time, and then he actually misses it onto Impact. You can see he missed the full Q damage, otherwise they would have had that kill very early. He was trying to save it until after his opponent flashed, and that kind of gave Contractz a lot of confidence to get in there and get some damage done himself, but he's super, super squishy. If he gets CC'd up, he's going to go down very quick, and then Jensen trying to make use of his real big power spike there, but as soon as Cody Sun arrives and Pobelter has taken out Rumble on the side, there's no way Jensen can fight into this. I mean, Cody Sun is just so hilariously strong.
Yep, 4 kills now, and Azael added next to that Infinity Edge, as Sneaky and Smoothie trying to stop the push in mid lane. Jensen's here also, but Pobelter's going to roam up and try and siege it down. Flame caught by a Cocoon, does get snared up, but pretty tanky as he pops the Golden Aegis, so Shield's going to keep him pretty healthy. Heck Drinker helping out, as well as all the health that he's stacking, so he's actually pretty tanky early on in the game for a Jarvan who does itemize for that early damage.
Yeah, I actually really like the fact that he went for an early Hex Drinker here too, because not only is he up against an AP laner, he's against an AP jungler here too. So the two people that he would likely fight, it's going to be super effective against. So that, in addition to the HP you'll be getting from that Black Cleaver that he wants to complete next, is going to make him pretty tough to take down.
Well, wave clear battles here. Both these marksmen actually pretty exceptional at taking down mending waves, so it could be a while on that mid lane siege.
One thing we also have to kind of give some credit to is the fact that Contractz has so heavily outfarmed Xmithie. He is quite a bit ahead in the gold, and he's 1,000 gold up, actually has a bigger lead over Xmithie than Cody Sun has over Sneaky, simply because he's always been punishing Xmithie. Anytime he shows body, he takes away his jungle. He's constantly invading, knowing he's stronger in that 1v1 and really trying to force his will upon him. So I think that while Contractz has not picked up a lot of kills and it feels like Xmithie has maybe done more, Contractz has gotten a lot from just farming.
All right, I was waiting to see where this was going because it was running out. Contractz though channels Rift Tile to the top side and now going to force Flame off the turret.
Cody Sun is going to be here very fast though with Olleh, so we'll see if they can actually take down this turret. I think that they might be able to defend it. Yeah, that repair should go down.
I mean, they might even die here depending on what happens. Lantern up for Contractz does save him, but Rift Tile not quite enough damage left over, and great response from Immortals.
Yeah, really smart stuff. They were already moving their bot lane top, perhaps anticipating this, or maybe they just wanted to make a swap happen anyway. Something to be said, though, for C9 is Impact is getting free damage down on the bot lane turret, so they got some chunk with the Rift Top. They get the lane advantage bot, and we'll see how much work Impact can really get down there. You know, they have a number of turrets pretty low.
Great answer. Sneaky actually flash roots Pobelter back in after using the Feather Storm, and Contractz lands a stun. C9 with a big outplay.
Really nice stuff there, and that's the skirmishes where they can really shine. They are able to get that kill. We'll see if they can push for anything more. They definitely want to start knocking down some of these turrets, opening up a gold lead.
It's like just pressure here in the bottom side, but Impact not even staying as Flame does return to this lane.
He does have to be a bit scared because his team just showed mid lane, and the Jarvan has completed the Black Cleaver, so this is a very strong time for him. He's in a long lane without a defensive turret, so you have a pretty high risk of getting all in that sort of situation.
And Cody gonna put the explosive shot down. Shoot down the turret for a little while longer, but let's watch this play again. Sneaky, this looks so good.
Yeah, this is really nice there. So he's able to flash to the side, redirect the feathers through his opponent. The exhaust coming out from Pobelter meant that he probably could have won that 1v1, but all of C9 was already collapsing. And Sneaky can make those kind of aggressive plays with the support of his team.
Well, checking back in on Cody here, again, still in that mid lane, has finished a static Shiv now, so maybe going for the recently popularized triple Energizer build, but regardless, Tristana very strong at this point. And you can see all this gold that's been funneled into Cody is going to finally pay off here as they do successfully siege down mid.
Yeah, I think that double kind of energized attacks build, you know, with the rapid fire Shiv, plus the fact that he's playing Warlords would make a lot of sense. The standard build for Tristana is still this double Zeal IE item. It scales so well into the late game, which really is Tristana's strength, as you're getting additional range on your attacks every level you get. So this guy gets scarier and scarier through itemization and just through ease of positioning in the team fights as you get more and more range.
Yep, you can see with mid opened up, Immortals have a bit more map to play with, so Cody actually feels confident enough to go into the side lane, which will be great for him as he wants to get more farm and XP. C9 still trying to re-break a section of the map. Impact is pressuring down that bottom lane still, but Flame doing a nice job defending it, and his Black Cleave is finished, so does plenty of return damage and is nice and tanky. And again, C9 is kind of sitting, looking for a pick, but not as many pick tools here for Cloud9 in this particular game, and the game is in a very different position as well.
Yeah, the game is in a very different position, but Immortals still, I would say, is losing the vision battle. Like, even though they are, you feel stronger, they have tempo, they have not been able to really get much deep vision. So despite the fact that, they were pushing topside, maybe would want to go for a siege on that turret, they don't have the confidence to do it because they don't know where C9 was. And C9, again, is controlling vision so well around this Baron area. Last game, they had 4 pinks in the area. This time, they already have 3 plus an additional 3 regular wards there. And controlling this stretch of ground makes it so much harder for Immortals to push forward and siege the last outer, which is in top lane.
Well, you can see Jensen actually busy with that, but Cody's going to stick to match him. Impact does have enough pressure here, to take down the turret. Contractz was ready for a potential gank, but the first harpoon misses from Impact, so he's going to give that all up. And it does feel like, I have to agree with you, the game is a little too close for Immortals, even though they are happy to scale into this one. Yeah,
they are going to be very happy to scale, and I think that in a passive game, I still do favor them. And now they fought this vision control. They did get control in this area. They could look to push. So Cody Sun, I think, should just stay top and continue pushing. He knows if anyone is coming to assault him because they have all these deep wards now on that side of the jungle. So that was really step 1 to taking down that last outer turret. With that fall of the last outer turret, it makes it much harder for C9 to play around the Baron area.
Yeah, and you can see that second Zeal now next to Cody's static shiv, so turret's going to be taking a lot of damage, and so will champions if anyone ever walks under fire of Trist. This turret's going to fall pretty swiftly, but Jensen with the Kong able to protect it. The rest of C9 faint towards top. Cody feels threatened enough to back off despite having Olleh behind him, so Immortals will still have to wait to fill the outer ring.
Yeah, and it's also about the fact that they know since 5 were top, they're getting advantages on the bot side.
Exhaust point by Olleh, though, as Jensen goes aggressive, still looking for it as a binding. Must not be there yet. Flash forward, Jensen!
Oh, Cody's in trouble now,
grabbing the takedown, and now Contract's going to leap on top of him. Good buster shot by Contractz, repels through it. Cocoon is going to miss, but the flash forward from Contractz, he needs a little bit more. 1, maybe 2 autos left as Contract's not going to die for it.
Yeah, they're able to get 1 kill, but Cody Sun staying alive is so important because that could have spurred a Baron attempt if he goes down. He is really the key member. Right now, C9 certainly, this at least gives them the confidence to move around and establish the vision control. If they kill Xmithie, that would be so big for C9 as they could look for Baron.
Hook gonna miss, but Impact gonna slow him down. Flame behind him to protect with Pobelter still around mid, so instead, just some vision placed.
Yeah, it's the battle of the vision. It's so important. Again, C9 reestablishes it. They had the initial control. Immortals fought back, able to get that for themselves, and now C9 again moves in. 3 pink wards in there. Lots of those regular wards as well are being placed, and they know they need to keep looking for picks. They need to look for these skirmish-heavy fights. They don't want Immortals to be able to just sit back and scale because C9 should lose any straight-up 5v5 type fights. Vision control is so important.
Yeah, right now, the 2 carries are in some pretty powerful spots, or at least they're 2 marksmen, I should say. Blade plus Black Cleaver done for Jensen. Hurricane was just picked up there for Sneaky, and Impact also sitting on 2 items for a little while. So, again, plenty of damage on the C9 lineup. It's just a matter of putting it in the right spot, and Cody, his diligence will be rewarded here in topside as he does grab the turret, but C9 looking to trade once more.
Smoothie, though, getting dashed on by Jensen. Look at how fast that Gragas gets shredded. Remember, he's starting with the Runic Echoes. He's not that tanky yet, right? He is building tank items now, but because Contractz has so heavily counter-jungled him, he is quite a bit down from where he would want to be at this point in the game. Yep,
just an Ninja Tabai as that armor item, so Jensen able to wail on him freely and dish out a lot of damage. He does have to return to the top lane now, sorry, as needs to answer Cody's consistent side lane pressure, but Impact sees soaring back on the bottom side. You can kind of see how both these teams, I mean, the reason this game feels so even is that they're splitting out the map and both playing it very well.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that this is a much more promising game for Immortals and their hopes this season. We kind of talked about, how legit are these guys? What's the scorecard rather for a team like this? And after game 1, you're definitely left wondering if they really are as good as they have appeared. But this is a much stronger game, and it's a game that I believe they're still firmly in control of. Despite the gold lead being close, it's going to come down to obviously which team can play better overall. But comp advantage is certainly in Immortals' favor. C9 needs to keep fighting for vision, needs to keep looking for picks and these big plays.
And I think if we're looking at C9 and kind of what they are showing us now, I loved their game 1 comp. I thought that was a pretty cool comp, but can be tricky to execute. If they win this game, especially given the position and the comp they're facing against, it's just going to further prove to me that C9 can play a lot of different styles. Like, any mid laner can pick Lucian mid and have a good lane.
Too far forward.
But winning with it can be tricky. Olleh, though, is going to be the first one down. Jensen going nuts.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he kind of got corralled in there. It looked like he was trying to get some deep vision, but now Pobelter in trouble.
Oh, flash body slam. Cody Sun gonna try and go for the assassination. Jensen gets a kill, but does go down. Slaying Pobelter in the process. The shutdown lands, but Xmithie gets destroyed as Cloud9 just take him down. Flame, though, is TP'd in, gets a kill back on a sneaky. Now the carries are all dead, and Cody is going to try and get the reset. There's the double for Flame. Another one goes down, and Impact finally falls. A triple for Flame, and the ace for Immortals.
They get the ace. They can't finish off Cody Sun, and Flame comes in with that frontline protection, allowing Cody Sun to re-enter the fight. They're going to push for more. Going to get this tier 2 mid, perhaps. It actually looks like they may want to just go over for Baron. As the res timers are pretty long, they could probably just try to rush this down.
Gonna look for it by the looks of things. Blue Trinket gets down, and yeah, Baron is gonna get started. Contractz dead for 15 more seconds. Xmithie will be up in 5, but no one can get here in time. Impact, the only teleport, is far too far away in the death chamber.
Really good call here from Immortals off that decisive teamfight win. So important for them that Cody Sun had just completed his rapid fire too. So he's on such a ridiculously strong point in the game. If he ever has free time, he will go down. And yeah, Olleh looking like he wanted to set up a flank, but misses the binding. Jensen just goes aggressively onto him, and he was really underestimating the power. But that said, Rumble Ultimate committed there gives Immortals some more agency in the team fight, plus the fact that Sneaky was chunked out. So Xmithie feels the confidence to go in. The TP is already coming down from Jarvan, and Cody Sun is the key member. He's able to get a reset here very critically. They flash forward onto him, but there's not really enough damage to finish him off. He retreats very well back to the turret and waits for the Jarvan. Once he throws down the ultimate, there's no way they can get back to him, so Cody Sun has the confidence to move forward, jumps in, picks up those kills.
Really nicely well played for Immortals, and again, despite the advantage it started with, you can see how straight up team fights do not really favor C9. Smoothie with a nice flavor. Flame just ults him instead. The hook is going to land onto Xmithie, but Olleh with the puddle.
And now a QSS on Cody Sun, so Black Shield plus QSS plus a Death Cap Orianna shielding you. Like, this guy is so safe. He can play ridiculously aggressive. He is going to be almost impossible to take down.
With an ult, gets Contractz back toward the team, but Jensen keeps racking kills up. Turret does fall in mid lane, however.
Yeah, good little pick there from C9, picking off Smoothie. It's kind of a bit out of position, but now they're looking for the re-engagement from Rumble
ult by Impact, but yeah, Pobelter too threatening. Shockwave lands, chunks out Impact as Flame. He's going to commit for it. Goes in as Impact pops us on, is now Flame taking a little too much damage, but there's the first one as Pobelter takes down Impact.
Nice turn from Immortals, trade back a kill there. Cody Sun can heal right back to full. They can just try to continue the siege if they so choose, but they may look for the easier option, the safer option of that dragon.
Contractz going to take his Raptor at least, so it looks like Immortals will fall back to the Drake. C9 will concede the objective, and Immortals will play with their Baron for a minute and a half longer. Not too much damage done just yet, but I mean, a pretty sizable gold lead. 6,000 up already for Immortals, and you've kind of alluded to this already, but with the way the compositions stack up, 6,000 feels significantly more than that already.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you're behind as Immortals, I think that they still have such a strong team fight that it doesn't matter. This is Xmithie. Definitely some overconfidence there. I mean, he's actually body slamming into the team while the rest of his squad is seizing down this turret. So a bit of a poor play there from Xmithie, giving up an easy kill, and that does kind of take some of the oomph out of their Baron play. But that said, C9 looking to try to fight back, and Pobelter quietly has been scaling this whole time. I mean, this is a Death Cap Orianna now, so the ability to trade back in this fight, if you're trying to engage into an Orianna, it's so easy for him to get that shockwave.
And you can see C9, they've got the damage, but getting their carries in safe places to kill people has been the struggle.
Yeah, because everyone is essentially the carry. Who's your front line, right? Like, who stands up against this massive amount of damage coming out from Cody Sun? And that's why it's so hard to run these sorts of compositions, because everyone is essentially every man for themselves. Lucian needs to get in there and deal damage. Sneaky needs to get in there and deal damage on the Xayah. So does Rumble. So does Elise, right? Like, you don't have these big tanks walking in front of you that allow you to just move forward and freely auto-attack. You're always under pressure, so you have to play it so well. You have to dodge skill shots, get in there, deal damage, and really outplay your opponents.
Get picks maybe, but not even something like split pushing is really an option. We don't have a double TP like we may have had in the last game for C9, so it is tricky.
And it gets harder to set up picks when Immortals is really fighting a good vision war now. You can see in the blue side of C9's jungle, 3 pinks over there, a bunch of wards have been dropped. Now they're trying to get vision on the other side and maybe looking for a fight here. Nice Rumble ult, though.
Can't see them. Smoothie gets struck, but he's not dead just yet. Cody, though, whips into action as Flame's going to look to solo out. Sneaky Cody flashes out, looking for Sneaky as Jensen is going to take down Cody. Huge mistake from Cody Sun, but Flame might be able to salvage a fight. Immortals still strong. as Pobelter does take down Impact.
They still do get the 2-for-1, but Cody Sun definitely getting a little bit hypey in that fight. Thought he could go forward, pick off Sneaky, but Jensen was there lying in wait. And this is still, a 3-item Lucian, very strong here for Jensen. But not the end of the world. Still, good job by C9, you have to say, in the Baron power play overall. Not allowing their inhibitors to be cracked from this kind of position of weakness, and against a comp that has such good sieging.
Well, watch this one again. C9, they had vision here, so looking to try and get something started.
But you're fighting into a corridor here where Rumble is really going to excel. So Cody Sun jumps over to the side. He thinks he can take down Impact, but then he's like, oh, I can actually get Sneaky. So really goes aggressive onto Sneaky. Jensen lying in wait. Impact flashes over onto him. Good shot calling and communication there from C9 to actually collapse and instantly pick off Cody Sun to punish him. Because had they not done that, he probably could have reset and turned around that fight. But I do feel like Immortals, they were going for more than they actually needed to. Like when you're this strong, with this good sieging, and the position that you're in, with the Baron, all you have to actually do is walk up and right-click turrets. Black shield your Tristana, give him the Orianna shield, have your Gragas standing directly in front of him, and shoot the turret. That's all you have to do to win the game. But instead, they're trying to look for the big play. Like, oh, I can catch this guy, I can catch that guy. You don't need to play fancy with this composition. C9 does, so don't give away your advantage.
Yeah, and a 5,000 gold Baron power play and a 7,500 gold lead could have been even more. But yeah. Immortals, they'll take the lead that they've gotten, and they'll steal away the blue buff.
They're still in a really good spot. But it's one of those ways that C9 could perhaps find a way in, these scrappy fights.
Sneaky Jensen, though, looking for Flame. Looks like a 1v1. I think Flame's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, it's not Sarah. Flame's going to back off here. He knows that there's no need to actually take that fight. We'll just step back, farm out the wave safely. Like, you have to think, when you're ahead like this, whether it's solo queue or LCS or anything, how do we lose this game? We lose this game from getting picked. If you do not know where every member is on the other team, and you could possibly be at a numbers disadvantage, you play safe. And that is what Flame is doing here. It's not that he's scared of the 1v1, he's scared of the potential of a 2v1. So that's a small thing, but it's very smart from him.
Well, Immortals continue their siege, but Baron up in 45 means I'll probably run back to the next objective. It is fun, though, to look at the bottom lane here. Cody and Olleh have had a great series, and this game has been even better with all the advantage Triss got. But it is unfortunately for Cloud one of their worst games of the season. Not only is Sneaky sitting with a big bagel in the kills column, and his 1,000-kill dream is dying right in front of me, but this is the most death Smoothie has ever had in a professional game.
Yeah, 0-4, a little bit rough there for
just
Smoothie.
This year, excuse me.
Okay, but
still not good.
Smoothie definitely a very strong player. Have confidence in him to be able to bounce back. And C9 are not out of this one yet. Sneaky certainly could pick up some more games in there. If this does go Immortals' way, there will be a game 3.
Ooh. Seth and Cody's Sun is maybe not feeling so hot about his assassination attempt. Impact another big harpoon. They just try and zone the rest of them out of the way. Really nice there from C9 again. Not quite sure why Immortals are poking around in the jungle, but C9 doing a good job at least poking out the marksman.
Yeah, nice hits with those harpoons. Going to send Cody Sun back to base. Immortals are really just trying to establish vision and maintain that, because if you get the vision in your opponent's jungle but you don't fight for it, they can just easily erase that. So they're trying to stay around here, threaten picks, threaten fights, control the area so that C9 cannot even check into Baron, and then you push up the lanes, you retreat back to Baron, you threaten a fight, and you also threaten the Baron rush. And for all we know, they're already on it, but that vision ward will at least give C9 the info that they're not.
Oh yeah, they're actually not even close. They're moving back through the jungle. Maybe C9 got the info too late. Smoothie picks up death number 8. Flame takes him down.
That's the advantage of that vision control now, and they just go right back to it. This is the smart play. It's what C9 pulled on them in game 1, and now Immortals controlling the vision around that Baron. They can turn it around and really kind of push that edge back towards themselves.
Well, the Dragon up also, so map perhaps split on objectives, but neither team really has a huge stockpile of Drakes.
The 2-man Baron, remember there's not a smite here. Impact sees this, so this could potentially get stolen away. That's why Immortals have to back off.
Ooh, Contractz a little too far forward, does get exhausted. No repel left to play with, so Pobelter able to get the kill. That will secure the Baron for IMT.
Yeah, now they still have to rush. Remember, they did allow it to reset, but it's going down so fast. The Cody Sun, level 18 now, almost full build on this Tristana. Like, this is prime time for the Tristana. You have so much extra range from your passive, and it's extremely, really powerful right now.
Yeah, looking good. Rapid fire cannon, especially when charged up, does give you even more. So, I mean, Triss she's one of the best late game carries in the game, but we don't see it too often because it's difficult to get to that spot. However, Cody was heavily supported by his team all game long, and now it's kind of reached the point that nobody really wants to get to. You guys thought Caitlyn was tricky. Well, Trish is going to feel pretty similar as Jensen dancing around trying to poke down the support and top laner of Immortals, but takes the lantern out to safety as now with the Elder Dragon buff paired with the Baron, Immortals might look for one last push.
Yeah, and to put things into perspective, like range is so important for AD carries because it's the ease of participation in a team fight, right? And so we're looking at 500 range on Jensen. Without even rapid fire being up, Cody Sun is sitting at 670 range. Like that is an enormous advantage. You get multiple auto attacks out on your opponent before they can even approach you. And when you're at a point where multiple auto attacks can be someone's entire health bar, that's a pretty tough proposition.
Yep, 675, right? For those playing at home, that's 25 more than Caitlyn. Yeah. So that's a lot.
He has like 800 with rapid fire,
yeah,
which is insane.
Well, see what Cody can do here. I'm kind of hoping he hits the turret out of its range.
I would also like him to shoot the turret.
I mean, he's shooting it now, but a little late. Baron Mini helping out. Gonna keep charging up the rapid fire cannon.
But this is all they need to do. Throw Black Shield, throw the Orianna Shield, step forward, take down that turret. No answer for C9, and that's what they need to do, and this is exactly what they're going to do. And they're going to look to try to close this one out. You can walk around, maybe try to clean up all the inhibitors on this push.
Sidelines aren't quite set up, so C9 have a small window to potentially catch someone going a silly way. Smoothie fishes for a hook, does not land as Sneaky feet trapped in the puddle. Does get bound by Morgana. And then Cody, you can see then just grossly outranging Jensen.
Yeah, now they're going to look for the engage. Flame is bot lane. They're trying to get something done.
Jensen in again, but Cody moves forward, threatens as the Redemption's going to reset at C9. Throw a few ultis out, but IMT just walk back and reset.
Ooh, nice root there. Actually, from sneaking a little bit of damage done, down to Morgana, who is kind of getting chunked out. That is one way, perhaps, C9 could find their way in. But, I mean, this is an Elder Baron buff. Massively advantaged Immortals. Bot lane is being pushed in by Flame. They can siege up top here as well.
Yeah, Xmithie actually going for the play. Gets two of the ultis. That's a shutdown onto Jensen. And now the turrets are just going to explode. IMT going to grab the next inhib and turret that goes with it. And Flame's going to TP in to try and end this game. Immortals are going to push forward here. Flame, he's back to base. Shockwave lands, hits Sneaky, nice. But the ulti buffered through by the looks of things, but Flame, he's going to commit the TP down. The Nexus turret's going to fall, and still 5v4 for 40 seconds. Flame leaps into actions, finds Contractz, looks to solo him out as Cody leaps in onto Impact, who popped into the stasis, but Impact now fighting for his life on the front lines, not going to live through that as Cody leaps forward in. Fountain is going to be the next objective as Cody is just free hitting everyone. Sneaky almost evaporates in a few shots, but the Nexus is exposed, and Immortals are going to tie up the series.
1-1, both teams putting up some very impressive games. In game one, C9 looking extremely dominant, and Immortals answer back. Strong game plan, cool pick with the Tristana. They put so much focus on getting Cody Sun ahead, and it's really able to pay off as you get to that late game. Because the composition was just almost impossible for C9 to answer into once they got to that deficit, once they got to that late game stage.
Well, it is a little tricky at first. I believe we are going to break the game down here, so we'll be able to talk through a few of the things that happened. We can bring it all the way back to composition, I think. I mean, we talked a lot in that game about what Immortals are doing, but let's have a look at C9's comp. I think it's easy to look at this comp and be like, why do you ever play this? Like, how can you possibly win? It is difficult to execute. I think Cloud9, in some ways, maybe just trying to practice, again, a different style and just continue to threaten with multiple picks.
Well, and to be fair, you know, when you praise them for how they pull it off in game one, we cannot criticize them for, for the comp in game two, because it's essentially the same kind of thing, right? It's a very aggressive composition that kind of has to get stuff done early. I felt like Immortals still have the better, well-rounded composition in game one, even though they lost. So it's like C9 come out again, super aggressive draft, confidence that you can get big advantages. But if you do not get big advantages, if you do not push the pace, if you do not start to snowball, this is what happens. You get outscaled. You have a tougher team fight composition to actually deal with here. So, C9, their draft did not work out, but I don't think that it was necessarily a poor draft. They just couldn't execute. And a lot of the credit has to go to Immortals, right? Because Pobelter was able to stay pretty much even with Jensen, despite this aggressive matchup, and despite the fact that Jensen takes the Ignite and is obviously looking to kill him. Xmithie getting very heavily counter-jungled, but still able to make stuff happen, And the fact that Immortals put so much focus on getting their key member Cody Sun ahead, I just think that both teams had solid game plans, but C9 wasn't able to execute it because A, theirs was harder, and B, Immortals played well. Well,
we're going to watch how it all started. IMT in the bot lane really getting things rolling for Cody Sun. Let's pull up our replay and see this first little bit of action, because Cody just kept getting ahead, it felt like.
Yep, and Smoothie was already behind them. I'm not sure if that was actually an intentional bait on that hook, letting it go through the blast shield, or if it was just a little bit late. But either way, They come in, they're able to pick up that kill onto Smoothie. There's not much he can do there. And then it's the repeat again. The flash binding onto Smoothie. Xmithie didn't even blow his flash in the initial gank. And the key thing here is every one of these kills were being fed into Cody Sun. They very clearly had a game plan. They stuck to it. Again, Cody Sun jumping forward. Tristana is very scary from ahead because you could just simply rocket jump all in on your opponents. Morgana works well with that too. Again, a nice TP here from Flame, sacrificing some of his lane to just keep pushing Cody Sun to that kind of unstoppable point. And you know, to Flame's credit, I think he had an incredible game. You know, 6-0-8. Even though he was in a pretty tough early matchup, you could say. You know, there were some ganks going up there. And he TP'd away to help out his team instead of kind of greedily TPing back to lane. Yeah,
it's definitely good to highlight Flame here. He has always been that quintessential carry player. I mean, effectively actually giving up his own lane with the TP, constantly getting side lane pressure, potentially in 1v2s, playing safe in the side lane, not being too aggressive. Like, definitely a lot of credit to Flame.
Yeah, I mean, he gave up the first turret gold over to Impact and Contractz. Impact was already up, 20 or so CS. And when you TP away from a lane that's being pushed into you, you know you're sacrificing multiple waves. That is a big loss for yourself. So you have to have confidence that you can A, pull off the TP play, and B, that it's going to be worth it. And they're showing a lot of confidence in Cody Sun that he can get work done.
Yeah, and a lot of that early game culminated in this 26-minute replay. We'll check out the ace actually from Immortals. I mean, this looked like it started well for C9, but it ended very badly.
Hey, it did start well. I mean, Cody Sun is not here just yet. Neither is J4. They absolutely kill Olleh off so fast, but one of the big things here is Impact kind of overcommitted with his Rumble ultimate. There was no real need to drop it for that support kill. Imagine this ridiculously close fight if Rumble now has his ult and drops it on Cody Sun as he's going back to the turret. That could be a very different fight, but it's hard to sometimes judge those little differences. You don't want to let Olleh get away barely either, so he commits the ultimate, and Cody Sun and Flame, that kind of dynamic duo, they are able to really pull off that fight extremely well.
Yeah, really well played game from Immortals to tie it up, but meet us back here in a few minutes to see if Immortals or Cloud9 come out with a victory. You're watching the North American LCS.